We finished episode 2 with Storm continuing to serve his community whilst faced with an uncertain future for his whanau. Davey and Storm share the impacts on their families and the private battles they fought in the long, quiet aftermath of Cyclone Gabrielle.
Even Bayview itself, there was flooding there and our backyard was underwater. And if it wasn't for my wife, she just looked after the home stuff. I could go out and she was like, oh, when will we see you? And I went, I don't know. And I hadn't seen them for nearly a week because I was staying wherever the lads were, but I knew she was safe. My kids were safe and then I had mum and dad, so they all helped.
Yeah, that was one of the questions that I had for you guys was, the impact on your families.
Oh, it's ongoing, eh? I didn't get home for 4 days and that's one of the things I do regret is that I hadn't managed to contact my wife Layla within those 4 days. So when I finally got told to bugger off home, I did. And I just walked through the door and I just remember my daughter just coming running up to me and going, Dad, you're alive. We thought you were dead. And then I was like, oh, heck. And that was a bit of a big key moment, I guess. In the last few weeks, we've been sitting around the dinner table just talking about a few things, and obviously with the coronial inquiry, Gabrielle and all the rest of it, we'd talk about it, and just some of the things that have come up from the kids, they got affected in ways that I didn't see or didn't even know about, and they're talking about that stuff now, which is good, it is good to talk about it. It was really grounding going home because, for 4 days, you're sort of making some pretty hefty decisions, can be quite tolling, and it was quite nice to go home and have a bit of a quick breather. And the only thing that I had to sort out in that time was my wee man Luca coming up and saying, Dad, Eden just ate my toast. And it was the hardest thing that I had to sort out. It was actually a good moment for me. It really grounded me back to, this is why the 5-7 lads were out there doing what they needed to do.
Okay.
And it also seeing good humans living with a portaloo, with a shower at a school, with a house that's gone. You can boil your jug and make a cup of coffee. How's that fair?
Mother Nature was so indiscriminate.
Yeah. You could drive from Puketapu, and let's face it, that was pretty badly hit. You could drive 10 minutes being Taradale and you could get a latte.
That was crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then you compound those emotions and energies by some not so great humans that take advantage of that situation and then go and pick on those vulnerable that have lost everything, and they go and pillage their house, steal all their effects. It was just like, what sort of human would do that?
I think that was the hardest thing too, especially for soldiers. For us, we're there to protect those that can't protect themselves. That's always a priority. And then you hear of this shit happening, you just want to go and deal to them. But you can't. Like I take my hat off to the Puketapu people. They were the first ones to do roving patrol with weapons just to protect their land, and what they own. There was reality right there.
It was.
And I think the hardest thing, like when we're doing our reconnaissance of the voting, there was me and another soldier, Sergeant Stephen Spooner. We come into Tipahui, and we seen the fire chief there, and he was so happy to see us. They go, awesome guys, I need you to do security. And I was like, oh, what's that for, chief? Oh, we've had gang members turn up and taking food and stuff for the people and just helping themselves. And I said, oh man, I'm sorry, chief. We're trying to get a tūtira. And it would make you so angry because you wanted to help them, but you couldn't. But you just wanted to see those fellas and go, babe, what are you up to? What are you doing, man? Everyone's struggling and you're doing this shit.
Yeah, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
So you, in one part, you're saving people and you're just about ready to die yourself. And then in the next part, people are asking for help, but you can't help them because you're on another task.
I'll be honest, it was hard because you've got limited resources. And luckily, New Zealand Police called for help from out of the region. That was really needed.
It was,
And it was, I can't speak highly enough of our New Zealand Police Force and what they did over that time. It was just a tough time, but to have individuals inside your community act the way they did was just mind-blowing.
Yeah, it was. And it was frightening as well. It was very frightening for people.
Yeah.
So just thinking about the resources side of things and working out what was needed where, a distribution hub was set up at the Hastings Showgrounds. And from what I can gather, it was pretty chaotic there to start with. Can you tell me a little bit about that and how that got sorted out?
I got to take my hat off to this friend of mine, Major Keith Miller. He went into that distribution point with a couple of young officers and really cleaned up the tempo of it, smoothed the chaos, and started bringing the team together in a way that actually worked. And I actually think that fella did an amazing job. And I've got to thank him too, because he's the one that signed the check that I could get a new phone, because my phone got drowned in the first rescue. And what a shambles that was. But I actually think he did a sterling job with the people he had around him. Like, majority of people there were civilians wanting to do the right thing, but then you've got different levels of knowledge in the logistics space, and there was some classic mistakes there that hopefully would never get repeated again. But hey, in the heat of the moment, I'm not going to judge anyone on that sort of stuff. But
it was a big exercise, wasn't it?
Oh,
to say the least.
Yeah. And you know, you splice into that the air logistics, which helicopters going where in the most efficient way. And then there's a shift rotation. So you've got a different network, you've got a different team, you've got to build that up again. So that momentum would peak and then trough, peak and trough and peak and trough, and conflicting ideas.
You're always going to get that. Got a bunch of humans together. Right?
Yeah. I think that distribution point was a real pressure cooker, but it was a vital piece in the supply line of life.
And your own commanding officer, Billy Te Heko, played a big role there too. I was wondering if you guys might like to talk to us a little bit about Billy.
Oh, he's our glue. Yeah, I've known that fella since, 1997. He's been in the Army Reserves since the late 80s, mid-80s. What's his job he does by day?
I think, he's distribution manager at Watties.
He's one of the...
he's one of the top dogs.
He's a logistician, isn't he?
Yeah. And he's one of the top dogs at Watties. But he's more than that. He's been involved with rugby coaching at Napier Boys High as well as Army Reserves, and he's just one of these amazing humans that's just got energy and time for anyone and everyone. And so he went to the distribution point towards the tail end of the cyclone effort to really tidy everything up and get it humming and hand everything back. So they brought in the expert. Yeah, the little Buddha.
Okay. So it just ties in, I guess,
Billy.
ties in so well with how the Army Reservists, because of the diversity of what they do in their 9-to-5 civilian roles, the amazing expertise that they
100%.
bring.
That's probably, like us being ex-regular force, you don't really think highly of them when you're regular force. And now that we are, you just see a whole nother side.
Wow,
and same with some of the regular force soldiers that are posted to the territorial units. Even they will say they've got another whole insight and a lot of love for the reserves.
Just another level of respect.
I might work a 70-hour week in my civilian job, but still putting in that 120% effort.
Sure. Impressive guy.
Yeah. So I think if it wasn't for the Defence Force or even the Army Reserves, we wouldn't have been able to do what we did during the cyclone.
No.
And then as for me on Billy Te Heko, he was our company sergeant major at the time.
He's more than that, though.
Yeah, he's more than that. He's been promoted to Woe 1 now, so he's Mr. Te Heko. And he's the type of man where rank is rank, but whanau's whanau.
Yeah.
Because everyone has lives and everyone contributes. So some of the boys are carpenters, doctors, lawyers, police officers,
Quite a few EIT tutors.
A lot of EIT tutors,
It's almost like a retirement village for Army people to go.
You were there?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, I left that retirement village now, though. Yeah.
So, actually, before I get to that, How did you feel when you heard about your citation? Is that the right word?
Yeah,
Citation. Tell us
So-
about that, guys. That's amazing.
The Chief of Defence Force citation or commendation. So me and Davey were both awarded that for our actions through the cyclone.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And it's humbling. I think how it was worded, it was a bit different to our perspective. But at the same time, I'm humbled that they did recognise, us. But I would have loved to see the unit get a citation, because it wasn't just us, it was all of us. And that, going back to that whanau,
Yeah.
the brothers were there to help each other out, and especially in those dark times after all this hard mahi. But the citation, the commendation itself is, I'm proud to receive it. Yeah, and it's the other recipients that they actually were blown away, Dave? Because they got citations as well, commendations, but theirs were different. I think once me and Dave got up, one of the colonels, he got one too, and he just looked at me and Dave and said, mate, my citation's got nothing compared to what you've done, and I'm a bit embarrassed, to be honest, that I'm here with you guys. And it was a good feeling, and I was like, oh, thanks you. But then he carried on with his whai kōrero, but he actually stopped and looked at us and then acknowledged what we had done, which was, was awesome.
Yeah, which you both thoroughly deserve. Yeah. How did you feel?
Well, I guess I got to thank Billy Tahiko for this one, because when I found out that there was a list of people that were getting nominated for an award or an honour or something, I just went straight to the bosses and said, take me off that list. And they're like, no. I said, nah, I don't want nothing. I've done nothing special. Take me off that bloody list. They're like, no. I was like, oh, all right. Because I'm trying to hide from the limelight or whatever.
Yeah.
And personally, I was like, I've done nothing special. This fella here, different. And it was actually Billy. I said to Billy, no, this just isn't right, man, because no one else from the unit has got anything. How come these dudes in Linton that, just turn up to run some trucks get something, but the people on the ground that risked their lives, wasn't just two, it was many, they get nothing. And so I was sort of trying to protect the flock and represent the flock that actually were the ones there first thing.
So what did Billy say to you?
He was like, mate, you getting a commendation is for all of us, so you're going to bloody go and get it. I was like, okay, sir.
Yes, okay, sir. Yeah.
He switched my mindset to, when you're standing up there and it's all about an individual, it's not really the individual. We're just the person receiving an award on behalf of all of the soldiers and Auntie Karen and everyone else, Marina, all those people that are involved with 5-7 Battalion that whakapapa back to 5-7 Battalion. We're getting an award on behalf of them. So we got this invite to go down to this ceremony, which is lovely. And I just asked back some questions around, look, Stormy and I, we actually work full-time. We're only part-time Army Reserves. We can't just take time off work on a Thursday to go and get our commendation. Is there any way that we could bring the Chief of Defence Force up here? Way more meaningful, do it in front of the whole unit. Like I say, my mindset now is we were just receiving something on behalf of all of these amazing humans that have done incredible things over that time. And it came back, no, sorry, you can't. So that was disappointing, but we're past that. And so we went down to Wellington. I must say that the day was pretty awesome. Like there was some unscripted things that happened along the way.
Cool.
Like, they flew us down. That was nice.
caught up with some old mates
Yep.
from the RF days.
Okay.
Yeah. Stormy, he made friends with half the plane on the way down. And little did he know that the Hastings Mayor was sitting in front of him. So she was earwigging to his kōrero the whole way.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just sort of sitting there half dozing, half listening, smiling, just going, shut up, bro. But it was lovely.
Were you guys like in uniform?
Yeah, we had
right.
to travel in uniform,
Yeah, yep.
so we got like sore thumbs.
Yep.
And when we got down to Wellington, into Trentham Army Camp, the 5-7 Battalion soldiers and the people that look after 5-7 Battalion down in the headquarters there, just amazing. They put on this beautiful big kai for us.
Yeah.
And treated us like kings, eh?
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
so
Yeah.
our
Okay.
OC, Ross Fisher, RSM, Matt Bedford, Home, he's the RF, Carter Sergeant there, B. So there's a lot of people. And then their Wellington region, Jay Snatai, they picked us up. We're not even from there, but we're part of the same 5-7 battalion.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But two different areas. So so those
And all the
Wellington-
lovely civilian support staff.
yeah,
eh? Once
yeah.
again, we were receiving that award on behalf of them.
for them.
Yeah,
and they
sure.
all turned up for
Yeah, and it was really,
yeah.
yeah, it
Did
was,
your families go with you?
Nah, and that's what Dave was
Couldn't
saying. He
afford
was
it.
trying to, and it was sort of last minute, and it was like,
and you got to pull your kids out of school. All of these things that a regular force person wouldn't have to worry about. There's another layer when you're Army
Yeah.
Reserve, you know.
Ah.
I was fortunate that some of my best mates in this whole world, we basically family, they turned up, which was beautiful
Wow.
for me.
Yep.
It meant that there was a part of Hawke's Bay
Sure.
there.
Okay.
I punched an email out to
Thought you were going to say something else there for a minute.
to Katie Nimmin from Napier MP, said, hey, it'd be awesome to have a Hawke's Bay representative along, particularly because she was in the control centre here doing some good work as well.
Yep.
You know, it was quite
Yep.
meaningful to her. So she came along and supported us as
cool.
well, which was really neat. Kept off the day, eh, mate? And there was some old soldiers in the audience that turned up that we'd served with. They'd been my mentor or Stormy's mentor. So
Okay.
it was, even though our families weren't there, it was still a cool day.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk a little bit about, just to sort of back up to the event or the immediate aftermath of what you'd gone through on the days afterwards, how you were both dealing with the emotional impacts.
I think we were like nearly 20 days, just going hard.
24,
24, just, and it was non-stop, then a couple of hours sleep and back into it. And by the time I wrapped up, well, it didn't wrap up for us because we were still here. When the rest of the regular force went back to Linton or whatever camp they were posted to, sort of left us here, and the locals, they still see us driving around and stuff, and the army's still here, and if you ever need us, we did a bit of that afterwards. But for me, I struggled after. Just trying not to be everywhere at once. That played on my mind big time. Right down to, getting drunk all the time, not knowing how to deal with those emotions. And then people look at you, Storm, he's a sergeant in the army, he's the man. And I didn't want to be that person. And, with work as well, the stress of the trucks not working and trying to get back on our feet. It was hard. Home life was hard. Just lucky my wife, she just, whatever shit I was doing, she was, oh man, she saved me. Got down to a point where, I got into a real dark place. One part there and I got in trouble. I did get in trouble with the law. What I did, I took the consequences and sorted myself out now, but I went to counselling. But what I should have done, and when you look back, you should have, would have, could have. I should have really gone and seen someone after, but I didn't because I thought I was tough and, turned to the old beers and trying to get things back on track. And I was actually spiralling downhill quite fast. And
hard to see it when you're in it though, right?
Yeah, and you look back now and you think, bro, what an idiot. And then you think, bro, you're up here and what happened, and it was just, I did hit a real dark place. And I think it was more, what affected me the most was, some of it might have been my past deployments, other things that have happened in the civvy world. But I kept reflecting on Susan and Ivy, and that's what sort of kicked my ass, really. And it was very emotional for me. I didn't know how to pull myself out until my wife kicked my ass for me and said, hey, what would and this still gets me now, what would the 25-year-old commander in the Army Storm say to the 43-year-old? Because he had his shit squared away. What would he say to you now? And that broke me. And I said, he'd give himself a hiding. So I went out and sought help, and like Staff Sergeant Rich Davis and Sergeant Andrew Duffy, those two boys are full-time here in Napier.
Beautiful human.
Yeah, they're both regular force. Even Billy, had a chat to them, and they helped me out immensely and pointed me in the right direction. And I went and got help, and which the Defence Force paid for and helped me go and see a counsellor, and she gave me the tools I needed, not only to be a better husband, a dad, a soldier, a leader, commander, and even just in my civvy world, owning a business, how to do things properly. I'm still not 100% there, but we learn every day. But now I realize, man, you got people that look up to you, and, you know, you're platoon sergeant or platoon commander now. You've got young fellas under you that look up to you, sort your shit out. And, you know, I'm still not 100%. I'm probably going to make mistakes still along the way.
We're all human, eh?
But we're human.
Yep, that's right. Thank you for sharing that, Storm. It's really touching and it's deeply personal, and I think it's going to perhaps help some other men or women who are having a tough time and thinking, how do I reach out? Will I be less of a man? What are people going to think? Listening to something like this is going to help those people. Thank you. Thank you. Dave?
After the cyclone, I was just worried about this fella. You know, the man had lost his contract, been suspended with PanPac because PanPac obviously wasn't working, so loss of income. He's got a beautiful wife, beautiful family. I was angry, real angry, particularly at certain parts of the operation. Angry at myself because I knew that I could have performed some things better or handled situations better than what I did, and I sort of clawed myself out of that, and that came about, I guess, through just reading the reviews, talking to people, because I had massive gaps. I was like, why did this happen like this, and why didn't this happen when it should have happened? Because there was some dumb decisions in my eyes, and so reading the reports and understanding the why for me was really, really important. So I guess I've mellowed a little bit. Some of my mates would say, no, I haven't. But hey, when you're in a safe space, you unload on, because there was some parts, you know, our own colleagues that wear a uniform where you're like, man, our standards have slipped. And so there was that feeling of disappointment where you felt like certain elements didn't try as hard as what they could have or should have, or reacted the way that you would have expected them to react. And you're like, so for me, that was really frustrating. Where am I at now? I'm in a space where I never want to see our people in Hawke's Bay suffer like that again. So I'm trying my hardest to help wherever I can to keep our finger on the pulse, be more ready, be more reactive. Since Gabrielle, I've landed a job at NZDF. I'm not with potholes. I'm in the driver licensing space, but I've been called in to be part of the incident management, navigate that for the Hawke's Bay people, and that's led on to being a little bit more involved at Hawke's Bay CDM. And we need strong networks, and that's what it comes down to. It's about those networks and those people. Having that trust, so when you walk into that control centre, they already know you and they know your strengths, weaknesses, capabilities. Been really good in the last 6 months, being involved in some police-led emergency response SIMS training. So having read those reports and understanding the reasons why a little bit more, I guess I'm a little bit more forgiving or philosophical than had you spoken to the Davey 4 months post-cyclone. There's definitely a change in mindset and mind shift around that. Look, there's still some parts where we need to be better as a culture here in New Zealand. Like, if you get a senior firefighter or a police officer knocking on your door saying, mate, you need to evacuate, and you choose to stay in that dwelling after that conversation, and we have to go out and risk our life to save you, well, then you need a kick up the arse, and you need to have a good hard look at yourself. And so people need to be mindful about, okay, this decision I'm making right now to ignore advice from people that might know stuff, what's that going to look like in 12 hours' time? Because some of the responses that the police got from members of the community, nah, we're right, we're going to stay here and watch the water come over the stop banks.
Oh, God, okay.
And then we have to try and work out how we're going to rescue 120 people. You know, time is a healer, right? So there'll be parts that are going to take a while.
It's a good message, though, for people. Yeah, if you're being told to evacuate, or it could apply to so many other facets of our lives, right? You know, what's this going to look like in 12 hours?
Lessons learned for everybody.
That's right.
And I thought I was really good up in the Hinengaro until it was coming close to the commendation ceremony, and that sort of tore off a few scabs, and I thought I was good. You know, that rage, that inner rage came out at a couple of points there, and I probably could have dealt with that a bit better.
What does 2025 have in store for you guys?
What East Coast Company or 5-7 Battalion here in Napier are doing now, so we'll do some sort of effective combat training, things that we've got to learn anyway. But we'll incorporate some type of civil defence scenarios, but it's, you know, that's on our own initiative. The reason why is because, you know, everyone was ill prepared, and just something that, you know, don't want the boys to suffocate or drown in silt again, or jump into rivers, or how do we do this properly? And, you know, within the military realm for myself is probably just a couple more courses I need to do with the Army, and just to help me be a better sergeant or platoon commander as well. We've got a couple of fellas that are moving positions, so I'll go up one, another young dude will come in, which is good, and you just mentor each other. Like, you know, I don't know all the answers, you know, ex-special forces, you know, and they bring something as well.
Wow,
you know?
yeah, I bet they do.
They can teach the boys how to enter a door better than 130 kilos of Māori trying to smash it open, but you know, so we've got a different range of soldiers.
And it's that diversity that gives us the strength. Like, we've got one lad, his day job is basically going around farms, and we were trying to direct resources and personnel to go and help our farmers, you know, and our orchardists, trying to encourage higher commanders to endorse that decision.
Sure. Yeah, okay.
Was quite a challenge, and it's because they're not farmers, right? They don't understand this province. They don't understand that the backbone of this province is our horticulture sector, our agriculture sector, our forestry sector. Without that, we're pumped. So those are some of the challenges. Sorry, I've gone down a rabbit hole here.
And what does 2025 have in store for each of you personally, like for you and your whanau?
But just for me is just to get the business back up on track. Okay. Just to probably do a bit better in that area, as well as still being part-time in the Army. Yeah, that's probably my goal, and probably have a holiday. I haven't had a holiday since I left the regular force in 2014 maybe, but you know, even though me and my wife say, oh, we need to go on a holiday, we talk about it, but nothing happens. And probably spend a bit more time with my kids, especially my older boy. He's been the solid one while I've been away, and other than trying to make my business right, I just know that our soldiers are ready if there's anything that does occur. Might not be a cyclone, might be an earthquake. So our lads are on standby every day, ready to help our people.
So I'm a part-time recruiter for the Defence Force with a focus on Army Reserves, which is a tough gig. We don't get high numbers here in Hawke's Bay and Gisborne, which is a real shame, as opposed to, it's easy to get 40 Scarfies couch burners down in Dunedin. And
Okay.
up here, we're a little bit different, But that's my primary role. But it feels good when you can give back to the community in such a way, like helping two of the senior firemen that were on the back of that truck that first night we went in. The eldest boy of one of them, I helped him on his journey. He's now in the Navy as an officer, and he's got a scholarship to go and study marine engineering at AUT for 4 years whilst on a salary of $72,000.
Wow. Oh my God, that's
so
good outcome.
For me, it feels like a part way of a payback to say thank you for not drowning on the back of that truck and for what you've done.
Yeah.
And
wow.
Kira Harkness, who comes from the Valley, is about to embark on his journey into the Air Force.
Oh, that would feel very rewarding.
Particularly with the Harknesses, because they're stuck in a spot where the bank has said you can't loan any more money to fix your whare. No one's going to be able to buy this property unless they're cash buyers. So here's a man that saves lives on a daily basis as a firefighter, and life's done that to them.
I know.
And it just breaks me.
It's so shit.
Yeah, so for me to try and help in some small way feels good. And I've actually, his daughter, trying to get her into Army Reserves, selling the dream that, if you join Army Reserves and you're going to Massey University, then you can get 30% off your study fees. You go to UCOL, you get 50%.
Yeah, okay.
You study at Open Polytech, you get it for free, all because you're in the Army Reserves. Yeah. I'm doing a bit of a plug here.
Yeah, no. Oh, good on you.
So we should do it. Yeah. But it's, the other positives around joining the Army Reserve is you become a family.
Yeah.
And it's a network within a network. Never do you need to go and look for a carpenter, a plumber, an electrician.
Brothers. I need this done.
Yeah. You get to play sport.
And then
travel
there's
the world.
The people you meet.
And the people you meet, whanau for life.
Yeah. Which is very evidenced in the friendship that you guys have. It's really special. Is there anyone else that you would like to acknowledge or thank, guys?
The Evergreen Trust, they invited 5-7 Battalion to the Tomoana Showgrounds where there was an event there. That was really special. And the boys actually cheekily went and asked if they could all get a photo with Chris Luxon, because we've got quite a few boys in our unit that are follically challenged. And so to have all of them line up with Chris Luxon, I dodged that photo because I got a face for radio. Yeah, it was awesome. And it's those little moments of recognition that go a long way. That was lovely. And then just last week, Stormy and I, out of the blue, got a Merrill's Award, which was really, really humbling and really nice. And, that's
congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, thanks, guys. And very humbled and appreciative. And it is a bit of a healing factor for us to talk about it and for everyone to fill in the gaps. So this is from our soldiers' point of view. And I'd just like to tautoko our wives, Leila and Diana. If it wasn't for them looking after home life, me and Davey couldn't have done what we did.
And we'd be even more of a shambles, mate?
Yeah. No, they actually tell us how things really happen at home and keep us in check. But I just want to give all my aroha to them.
Their regular force careers had them prepared for almost anything. But when disaster struck on home turf, things got personal. Alongside the big responsibilities, there were some big emotions to be reckoned with. But they stepped up. Not just with their critical skill set, but with local knowledge, personal connections, and a love for their community. When I asked about your respective careers, I imagined a brief highlights reel. What we got was a much deeper and quite fascinating insight into who you are, as people, as soldiers, and what you now bring to the Army Reserves. Thank you, Staff Sergeant Davey Forbes and Sergeant Storm Harrison, for what you did and for sharing it with us here today. And thank you to the entire Hawke's Bay platoon of 5-7 Battalion for your capabilities and compassion during a time of crisis. I would like to dedicate these episodes with Davey and Storm to Ivy Collins and Susan Cacciopoli. Thanks for listening to Under the Weather. It's easy to think that these disasters happen somewhere else, until it's your town, your community, maybe even your family picking up the pieces. Floodwaters rise and recede, but the ripple effect from these stories will endure. If you enjoyed listening to this, please share it, because it's not just about how or if we survive. It's about how we stand stronger together.